I'm not saying that everything on the blog was a lie, but when you lie about a lot of different things, it makes the rest of the things that you say just not as credible. What is up, my brethren? This is Heckle TV. I am Jarvis Black. Thank you for coming back.
Welcome to the show.
Last week I posted a video about a blog called Justice for Natalia Grace. And some people were a little bit upset that I called the blog manipulative and then I felt dirty after reading it.
Dirty.
So buckle up, buckaroos. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Over the course of this last week, I was informed that the blog is not exactly as it seemed. And I was absolutely correct to call its content into question. The blog was not only heavily skewed against the Barnetts regarding this case, but it was heavily comprised of content that had absolutely nothing to do with the case at all. It documented the other children's accomplishment, things like the Barnett's vehicle purchases, home purchases, the Barnett's marriage license. And while the blog does contain some relevant evidence, such as Natalia's Ukrainian birth certificate, it wastes a lot of time on things that are irrelevant to the case. The blog is covering up, lying, or hiding, however you want to put it, multiple things. My guess is that it did that because of the Mans having to go to court. Firstly, there's a web archive of the blog as it was a couple of months ago, on January 18th. I was right to be suspicious about the date. The blog has been modified a lot since the date that was listed on this post. The date shows October 29th, and it's definitely been modified since then. It's completely different. The date that it lists, October 29th, is not the date that this content was created. And that's a flat out lie. Secondly, the previous version of the blog had a picture of Natalia from 2008. In the current version, that's completely gone. Why did they remove a picture of Natalia from 2008? Doesn't that only strengthen their case? Unless the original version, or the version from January 18th, was incorrect, which means that the blog probably doesn't have accurate information. What do you guys think? Why was this taken off? The third thing is the disclaimer was changed. The disclaimer on January 18th had an extra sentence at the very beginning that said, "The information we are posting regarding Natalia Grace is for the sole purpose of disproving the Barnett's claims and help restore Natalia's reputation." Why was that taken off? I mean, that's clearly the motivation of the blog. What difference does that make? Why was that removed? Because they wanted to seem like they were more objective or something? The next thing I noticed was that there was a P.O. box that was listed so that people could send gifts and I guess whatever they wanted to Natalia, and it would be sent to this P.O. box in care of Antwon Mans. Now, this is why the Mans had to go to court, because they had to basically say that they didn't violate the gag order by providing this P.O. box to the blog. So the blog removed the P.O. box. Evidently, they were in communication with the Mans because they provided it to the blog owner. They were at least involved in it enough to provide the P.O. box. I mean, this is sort of a smoking gun of sorts that shows that the blog author is in communication with the Mans. And there is definitive evidence on the blog itself that the blog author communicated with the Mans. The blog also goes on to list all of the things that Natalia likes, including clothing sizes, food preferences. But why was this P.O. box information removed? They needed to cut ties from this blog because it didn't look good, and the judge didn't think so either.
Please try and control yourself.
My point is that if everything with this blog and the content and its creation and its curation and its posting onto the web was on the up and up, why would any of this have to be removed? The blog is not only lying about just one thing, it's lying about multiple things. And I understand that the person or people that created this had good intentions, but good intentions don't mean anything if you're violating laws or slickly navigating around them or through them, and you're lying to try to get your point across. It doesn't help your cause. And I'm not going to be able to go through every single change. And I don't think that every single change from the old version to the new version the current version is relevant. I'm going to post a link to the web archive of this old old version. And if you're interested in comparing and contrasting, you can definitely do that. And there may be something that I've missed. It has been gradually curating and gathering content over time. Things like Michael Barnett's Corvette aren't on the original version, I don't think, but they are on the current one because that's super important to know about. So now I want to talk about what I think is the most relevant or important change, and that's that the comment section was removed. I think that the reason they deleted the comment section is because in the comment section, it shows commented that they want to be able to send Natalia gifts and gift cards and whatnot. Somebody listed as the blog admin responded and said, that's a great idea. I'll ask the Mans. And then below that comment, they said, here's the info. I talked to the Mans. Here's that information, basically. There's literal proof that the blog author was in communication with the Mans. How did the blog author or authors know how to get a hold of the Mans in the first place? So do they know them? Do they know somebody who knows them? Had they communicated with them about the content prior to this? Now, what was actually communicated? We don't know exactly. Their testimony in court about the blog didn't make any sense either. Antwon Mans said that he doesn't even know how to use Facebook, and yet he can create a GoFundMe, he can post YouTube videos.
And we thank God for you for everything that you guys have been doing as far as the encouraging words and the donations for the GoFundMe.
Something seems a little bit off. The interesting thing about this part of the story is how dumb I am. Because of my stupidity and not, flushing out every possible source, through a backwards search, I found an article that actually does list a person who claims to be the owner of the blog. So because I didn't find this information first, I went on this scavenger hunt. But I started with a reverse lookup for the P.O. box. How is that listed? And the first thing that came up was a trucking company named Kurt's Trucking in Crawford, Indiana. And the phone number for them was disconnected. I was curious if there was any kind of connection between this trucking company and the Mans family. No, definitely not. It looks like this Kurt's Trucking company was just probably had that P.O. box at some point in the past. When I searched for the P.O. box, there were 3 results. And 2 of them had to do with Kurt's Trucking. The third one had to do with a Twitter account from somebody named Jenny Frog, @Jen Wheeler. There's only 3 results, and one of them is a specific person. Well, as it turned out, Jen Wheeler is the creator of this blog, and she first tweeted about it on November 6th. And she specifically states in a tweet, she created the blog, she curated this information, and yet on the blog itself, she says it was created by a group of people. If you stretch your imagination to mean that she got the information from other people, so she's just selflessly counting them also as the authors of the blog, okay, sure. The reality is she created the blog, she owns it, she made it. I'm not saying that everything on the blog was a lie, but when you lie about a lot of different things, it makes the rest of the things that you say just not as credible. The most interesting thing that I found from her Twitter account, I thought, was just that the search result that brought up the P.O. box, that tweet, didn't exist on her Twitter profile, which means that she deleted it. Now, why would she delete the information with her P.O. box on her Twitter account as well as her blog and all of this? Maybe because she did something she wasn't supposed to? And now she's trying to cover it up. On a side note, Jen likes classic Saturday Night Live. She likes Impractical Jokers. She's a huge fan of A Christmas Story.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So we've definitely got that in common. So back to the court hearing. So here's what the judge had to say about it. The judge ruled that that though he found individuals who make blogs solely to discredit parties and ongoing legislation distasteful, pretty accurate, the defense team had not proven its case to the level necessary to hold the Mans in contempt of court. To me, I interpret that as the Mans violated the rules, but just not to the degree where they felt like they should be punished. But then the court went ahead and amended the gag order to include blogs so that there wasn't any confusion. People keep saying that the Mans were cleared of wrongdoing in this situation, and I don't think that's the most accurate way to describe it. I think the reality is they just got off on a technicality. Alright, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, smash that like button. The dislike button, unfortunately, doesn't work. It's out of commission. The detour is through the thumbs up. If you click on that, you'll get a drop down for a dislike. If you're new here, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You're going to have to do that. You just have to. You can't get enough of me. I know you need more, and I'm trying to give it to you. I'm trying. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Yeah. This is the end of the video. Like and subscribe.